The storm came down hard on the mountain road, turning the forest into a blur of rain and shadow. Evan Cross kept both hands steady on the wheel, eyes fixed forward, jaw tight. He'd driven through worse overseas, but storms still made his chest tighten. Thunder had a way of sounding too much like artillery. Beside him, Rex sat upright in the passenger seat, alert and still. The Belgian Malinois didn't sleep on drives. He watched. Always watched. His ears twitched, tracking sounds Evan couldn't hear. "Easy boy," Evan muttered. Almost through it. Rex didn't relax. His body stiffened. A low sound vibrated in his throat. Evan slowed the truck. The road curved along a steep embankment overlooking Black Pine Lake, its surface hidden by fog. Rain hammered the windshield. Then Evan heard it too. A shout. "Wait." Panicked. "Help, please." Evan pulled over without thinking. Training took over. He grabbed his flashlight and stepped into the rain. Rex was already out, nose down, moving fast. "Track," Evan said. Rex shot ahead, disappearing into the trees. Evan followed, boots sliding through mud, branches whipping his face. The shout came again, closer now. Pain threaded through it. Rex stopped at the edge of a sinkhole half hidden by brush. The ground had collapsed inward, leaving a jagged pit. Evan knelt and shined the light down. An old man lay twisted at the bottom, one leg pinned under broken roots. His face was gray with shock, rain plastering white hair to his forehead. "Don't move," Evan called. "I've got you." The slope was unstable. Evan anchored a rope to a tree, tested it, then eased himself down. The man groaned as Evan shifted debris away. "Name?" Evan asked. "Walter," the man rasped. "Walter Boone." "All right, Walter. I'm Evan. We're getting you out." Evan secured the rope and signaled. Rex braced above, muscles locked. Together they hauled Walter up inch by inch until he collapsed onto solid ground, gasping. Evan wrapped him in a thermal blanket and carried him toward the truck. Walter clutched Evan's sleeve with shaking fingers. "Thank you," he whispered. "I thought that was it." Evan loaded him carefully into the cab. Rain drummed on metal. Rex jumped into the back seat, eyes never leaving the old man. As Evan started the engine, Walter murmured, barely conscious, "If anything happens to me, don't let them take the tavern." Evan frowned. What tavern? But Walter's eyes had already closed. The road disappeared into fog as Evan drove on, unaware that the rescue he thought was over had just opened the door to something waiting far longer than the storm. Black Pine Tavern emerged from the fog like a forgotten memory. Weathered wood. A sagging porch. A crooked sign swaying in the wind. Evan pulled the truck to a stop as Rex leapt out, circling once before freezing. The lake behind the building was unnaturally still. No ripples. No wind. Just dark water reflecting gray sky. Inside, the tavern smelled of dust and old smoke. Evan set Walter near a cold stove and checked his leg. Broken but stable. The man breathed shallowly, eyes fluttering. Rex moved slowly across the floor, nose down, tail rigid. He stopped near the center of the room and tapped his paw once. Then again. Then a third time. Evan stiffened. Rex only did that when something wasn't right. "What is it?" Evan whispered. The floor creaked beneath his boots. A faint hum vibrated through the boards. Not electrical. Not wind. Something deeper. Walter stirred. His voice came thin and strained. "I told you, some things should stay buried." Evan crouched beside him. "What's under this place?" Walter swallowed. "Not tonight." Storms already stirred it. A gust slammed the windows. The hum faded, then returned, slower, like a heartbeat. Rex growled low, teeth bared at the floor. Evan explored the walls. Old photographs hung crooked. Fishermen. Rescue crews. One photo showed a younger Walter standing beside the tavern with a group of men wearing matching insignia. Beneath the bar, Evan noticed a floorboard scratched more than the rest. Rex returned to it immediately, tapping 3 times again. Before Evan could pry it loose, headlights swept across the windows. A black SUV rolled into the lot. A man stepped out, coat immaculate despite the rain. He smiled when Evan opened the door. "Evening," the man said smoothly. "Ryland Frost. I represent Northcrest Development." Walter's face drained of color. "You shouldn't be here." Ryland glanced inside, eyes sharp. "He's injured. Unfortunate. Still, business doesn't stop." Evan stepped between them. "Get to the point." Ryland's smile thinned. "This land is scheduled for acquisition. The tavern sits in the way." Walter shook with effort. "It's not for sale." Ryland sighed. "Sentiment rarely survives progress." His gaze dropped briefly to Rex. Careful, seal. Dogs sense danger, but they don't stop inevitability. He turned and left, tires spitting mud as he drove off. The hum beneath the floor returned stronger. Rex planted himself beside Evan, eyes locked on the boards. Evan finally understood. This place wasn't abandoned. It was guarded. The fire came just after midnight. Rex woke Evan with a sharp bark and 3 rapid paw taps against his leg. The air smelled wrong. Hot. Acrid. Evan bolted upright as smoke rolled under the door. Flames crawled up the back wall, fueled by gasoline. Walter. Evan shouted. He reached the old man's room as the ceiling cracked. Walter coughed violently, eyes wide with terror. They came back, he rasped. Evan lifted him without hesitation. Rex sprinted ahead, barking directions through smoke and falling embers. They burst through the front door as the rear of the tavern erupted in flame. Rain soaked them instantly. Evan laid Walter on the porch, shielding him from sparks. Rex stood guard, one paw burned but silent. Evan spotted a melted ignition device near the wall. Stamped metal. Corporate branding. Walter grabbed Evan's wrist. They did this before. Took my brother. Buried the truth. His grip weakened. Find the tunnel. Use the key. What key? Evan demanded. Walter exhaled slowly. What? Twice. Then nothing. The fire died with the rain, leaving ruin and silence. At dawn, Evan pried up the scratched floorboard. Inside lay a rusted box. A map. A brass key engraved with a number. An old rescue badge. Rex whined softly. The map marked tunnels beneath the tavern and an inlet beneath the lake. Dates from the 1940s. Names crossed out. Sheriff Lena Moore arrived as Evan finished reading. Development company filed an emergency seizure, she said grimly. Unless we prove this place is protected, they'll bulldoze it. Evan closed the box. Then we prove it. That night, Evan donned an old diving suit stored beneath the tavern. Rex guarded the rope as Evan cut through ice at the marked inlet. The water was black and freezing. Evan followed the tunnel, lungs burning until his light struck metal. A sealed container embedded in stone. He freed it and ascended fast. As Evan broke the surface, a man lunged for the rope. Rex slammed into him, teeth locking. The intruder fled into the fog, leaving blood behind. Evan collapsed onto the ice, clutching the container. Inside were documents. Deeds. A charter protecting the land forever. Rex limped to Evan's side, tail wagging once. The truth had survived fire, water, and time. And now it had teeth. The courtroom was packed. Townspeople filled the benches, whispering as Evan walked in with Rex at his side. The dog's bandaged paw didn't slow him. Ryland Frost sat across the room, confident, surrounded by lawyers. Evan presented the documents. The original charter. The rescue trust. Audio recordings recovered from the tunnel, voices planning the fire. The judge listened in silence. When Evan struck the old bell recovered from beneath the tavern, its deep note echoed through the chamber, matching the recorded testimony from decades earlier. The ruling was swift. The land belonged to the community. The tavern was protected. An investigation into arson and fraud was ordered immediately. Ryland's smile vanished as deputies stepped in. Weeks later, lanterns glowed along the rebuilt porch of Black Pine Tavern. Neighbors worked side by side, restoring beams, repainting walls. A new sign hung above the door. Black Pine Tavern and Rescue Center. Evan stood quietly as Rex supervised, tail swaying as kids gathered to pet him. Sheriff Moore joined Evan, smiling. Walter would have liked this. Evan nodded. He built something worth protecting. Inside, the bell hung polished and ready. Rex patted over and tapped his paw 3 times. Evan laughed softly. Yeah, buddy. I hear it. Not a warning this time. A reminder. Some secrets aren't meant to stay buried.